Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host, with Lammy Chillmeister, your co-host. Today is September 24th, 2024. Now, what is 2424 numerologically? I don't know. I need to get into numerology in general, because the elites, the occultists, use it. I know a little bit of it, but I need to dive deeper into it. 2424. What is the numerological significance of 24? I don't know. If you know in the comments, let me know. It's been rainy here in Kentucky. I love rain. I could honestly, my wife, she doesn't like rain. But, I could live in, honestly, like Seattle. Well, not so much Seattle because it's super liberal, but like Ireland or something. If they had our Constitution, I would love living in Ireland. First of all, it's fucking beautiful. Second off, it's my motherland, you know. And it rains all the time. Plus, I love hiking. Me and Sammy do a lot of hiking. Like, be some awesome hiking out there with landscape and forest and hills and all that shit. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I live in Kentucky, and Queen of England said Kentucky is her favorite state in the United States because it reminds her of the Emerald Isle, you know, England and Ireland. But yeah, man, I was sleeping like a baby all day, and then my stupid cat got me up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, meowing like crazy. And then I feed her, and she eats like 3 or 4 bites and runs out of the room and just doesn't eat the rest of it. Lets the dog eat it, you know. I'm like, you woke me up at 3 in the afternoon. I don't have to work till 11 o'clock at night, acting like you're starving, and then don't even eat. Animals, man. Animals. A lot of stuff. Let's get on with the show. A lot of stuff going on in the news. Let's see. Where do I want to start? Oh. So, the third attempt, I think it's technically the fourth, because go watch the Red Truck Man episode. I believe it's that episode we get into a second assassination attempt being thwarted. And then there was the Routh guy. So this is technically, in my opinion, the fourth attempt on Donald Trump's life that was thwarted. His name is Asif Merchant. You know how the elites use names as symbolism and all that jazz. Merchant. Curious. Merchant of death. I don't know. I mean, a merchant, if you look up the word, it's someone who sells things. So, I don't know. I don't know if there's a deeper meaning I'm not catching. But he has 2 families, one in Iran and one in Pakistan. He says he moved to America to kill Trump. He's from Iran, so they really are pushing for us to go to war with Iran. And this whole thing smells real fishy, that they just suddenly got this guy and thwarted an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and he happens to be an Irani from Iran, and I don't know, just kind of goes into the whole them pushing for war with Iran. He was offered $1 million to take out Trump, apparently, by a Mirdad Youssef, which was his handler. He scouted out rallies, checking them out, seeing how the Secret Service is and shit. He was arrested. He was caught trying to hire hitmen, and they were undercover agents. That's how they caught him and arrested him. Yeah, that's all the info we got on him. So it was thwarted and crazy shit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So next story, somewhat connected. Oran Routh, the last assassin, has a son. Oran Routh, Oran, Oran Routh. Now I don't know the origin of that name. It sounds kind of, honestly, like Nordic or something. Once again, I always try to pay attention to the names, because the elites use people with certain names, if that's even these people's real names and shit. Arrested for cheese pizza. Apparently hundreds of files of it. Terabytes. And we all know the elites use the same playbook. Doesn't this sound familiar? What happened with the Vegas shooter? With the Vegas shooter's brother? He was saying too much, acting weird. He was a strange dude during the interviews and stuff. The whole thing was strange. Dude got busted for the same shit. Like terabytes, hundreds of videos of child pornography. And I've mentioned this before on the channel. People are very cruel in comment sections and hateful. I got a pretty good comment section. Every now and then I get a dickhead. But I don't think people realize, for one, this is free content. So why do people complain and are hateful to someone who is putting out free content? We don't get really paid in the conspiracy community, unless you're like Sam Tripoli or Alex Jones. This is not a good career choice. Just saying, there's a lot more content creating career moves, like cat videos, Twitch streaming, OnlyFans. To choose conspiracy is kind of a dumb move business-wise. But we're also putting ourselves on list. We are risking our own safety, the safety of our families, the safety of our spouses, the safety of our children, risking losing our actual day jobs from the shit that we say on our channels. And you also get, I've said this before, talking about Tucker Carlson brought it up, and I've said it before, that if you say too much and you get put on their radar too much, which thank God that my channel's smaller. Like, I know I bitch about it, but sometimes it's one of those things of be careful what you wish for and count your blessings, because I'm less on their radar than like Alex Jones or fucking Tucker Carlson. But Tucker had brought up on Joe Rogan's podcast last time he was on that he's just waiting for the day that they download CP onto his computers and raid his house and arrest him. And that's pretty much a death sentence that you're giving to someone. Like, prison, there's honor amongst thieves with prisoners and criminals. And if they know, one thing I know about jail and prison is they don't like fucking chomos, man. That's pretty much a death sentence, or you're just going to get beat the fuck up, shanked, harmed very badly. So it's kind of two birds, one stone. They take you out, they arrest you, you're a prisoner, so you can't put out any more info, you can't put out any more podcasts, you can't say anything, and your voice can't be heard. It ruins all your credibility, because anytime anyone brings up, oh, do you remember that time Tucker Carlson said this? Oh, you mean that pedophile? So no one takes you seriously anymore. Yeah. And to think that the CIA or the FBI can't just hack into your computer or your phone and download child pornography, that's an absurd thought, to think that they can't do that. I mean, you get like Indian hackers and telemarketers who literally scam people into letting them take control of their computer and blackmailing them of like, pay us such and such amount, or basically you have no control of your computer. Yeah, it's not that hard. But we all know the elites too, man. These people are very reptilian brained. And they suck at art. They suck at art. I think that's why they're so obsessed with art and music and film and stuff, because they know that they can't artistically create. That could be a Luciferian trait, a Lucifer trait, that we talked about it on the last podcast, the interview I had with Miss McGillicuddy, of like, God can create and Satan can't create. He corrupts. Or if he does create, it's like a distorted, perverted version. These people are very unoriginal, these elites. They don't think with the Humalian part of the brain, they think with the reptilian part of the brain. And they reuse the same plays in the playbooks. That's why, like, you know, with 9/11, you got Operation Northwoods. Same shit over and over again. Vegas shooting. By the way, I did a whole episode on the Vegas shooting. Go check it out. I think it's called Vegas Shooting, Illuminati Card Game, Jason Aldean. We kind of get into just the Vegas shooting in general, those three connections and the weird stuff and the conspiracy behind it all. This is the first and only time that I ever covered the Vegas shooting, besides now. So go check that episode out. It's a really good one, kind of doing a deep dive on it and my thoughts on it and shit. Yeah. Crazy shit. Next story. So we covered P. Diddy and his arrest, and before his arrest, he came out and put out a list of people who got dirt on them. Basically, he said, if I'm going down, so are you all with me, and listed off a bunch of people. I only commented and talked about the people that I know. There's a lot of people on that list. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Go check that episode out. I think it's P. Diddy Arrest and List is what it's called. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on with the P. Diddy shit. Basically, man, he's the fucking urban black Epstein. And I hope that's not offensive to say that, but he really is. He's the black Epstein. I think Epstein's focus was more on like scientists, politicians, which we'll get into, P. Diddy and politicians. And like P. Diddy was more like rappers, Hollywood actors, actresses. I think that was his focus. So P. Diddy's former bodyguard says there are tapes of politicians at these freak-offs. Now, as far as I know, the tapes, you cannot find them. Well, Well, let's go on with, yeah, basically, as far as I know, you can't find the tapes, but there are suspicions. There's a dude named Jaguar Wright. I've never heard of this dude. I heard about him in a comments section the other day. I have no idea who he is. But he says that Diddy supposedly sold a freak off tape for $500 million. Now that's a shit ton of fucking money. So there is a tape out there. I haven't seen any of the tapes, and you guys know me. I'm pretty good at digging around and finding shit. Like, I found still frames of Frazzle Drip. I found the content of Hunter Biden's laptop through GVA.com, a Chinese YouTube, basically. So you know me, I'm pretty good at digging around and finding shit. I found the Podesta video of him allegedly torturing a child in a shower at Comet Ping Pong. I don't know. I could dig around and see if I could find this Diddy tape. So let me know what you guys think about that. But people are saying that P. Diddy could be killed because, especially if he's got tapes of politicians, he's just as dangerous to the elites as Jeffrey Epstein. And I was waiting on it because, like, I figured first that would come out would be like, everything is happening exactly how I thought it would happen. Not trying to pat myself on the back or call myself like a prophet or something, but I figured at first, like, the low-hanging fruit, like the politicians, or not politicians, musicians, actors, all that would be mentioned first. And then I was like, I want the nitty-gritty, the good stuff of who are the politicians who were at the freak-offs. Who are they? Are the tapes out there? I'm not getting my hopes up because we all seen what happened with Epstein when Epstein got arrested. The FBI swooped in, got all the DVDs, and as far as I know, they were never brought up in court. We never heard anything else about them. My oldest brother, sent me a video like years ago when all the Epstein shit was going on. Like, dude, FBI raided his house, his island, and got a shit ton of DVDs, blackmail DVDs. And I was like, holy shit, because at the time I was kind of getting into like QAnon, and I was like, oh, shit's gonna hit the fan, everything's gonna get broken open. And he's like, don't get your hopes up. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, nothing's going to happen. And nothing did happen. Where are all those DVDs? Where are all the tapes and DVDs from P. Diddy? Will they be brought up in court? They weren't brought up in court with Epstein, so probably not. Don't get your hopes up, guys. Now, the QAnon people, they're like, this is the calm before the storm. Like, shit's going to hit the fan. They're going to release the tapes and everyone's going down. Hillary Clinton's probably on there. Obama probably went to the freak-offs. They're all going down. Don't get your hopes up, man. I mean, you're welcome to my channel if you're a Q-tard, but I used to be pro-QAnon. I fell for the PSYOP, and now it's distasteful. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I ain't gonna lie. I think it's one of the most destructive things to have ever happened to the truth community was the QAnon PSYOP. It's retarded. So, Kim Porter is a former lover. She wrote a book about P. Diddy. And in this book, she supposedly, like, got into one of his vaults while he wasn't there. A vault in his bedroom, and in this vault she found all these DVDs of, like, blackmail DVDs, the ones we were just talking about, and she popped a couple of them in, trying to see what was on them, and she had found the videos of P. Diddy allegedly sleeping with young boys. So, I'm not going to bring homophobia into it. I don't care if people are gay, straight, trans, whatever. You guys know how I am with this channel. I'm a classic liberal. That's not the part I care about. The part I care about is that it's young boys, underage boys, allegedly. So, that's going to make it 10 times harder for him to survive in prison. Right now, he is on suicide watch, so he's protected. But this is going exactly how it was with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was on suicide watch, and then he got put into a cell with this huge, massive, murderer. Are they going to do the same thing with P. Diddy? And you guys remember with Epstein, all the videos, the cameras were conveniently out at that time. The security guards took a nap at that time. Is the same thing going to happen with P. Diddy? Because if it's true that there's tapes of politicians at these freak-offs, if it's true that these tapes involve children, I see him getting Epstein, dude. I see him getting Epsteined. Now what's crazy about this Kim Porter chick is she mysteriously died from influenza. Wrote this book comes out, mysteriously dies from influenza. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. The whole thing is strange. Can I prove that, shady shit happened and they killed her, the Kim Porter chick? No, I can't prove that. It's possible. Anything's possible. Am I going to say that they killed her? No. I don't know. The whole thing's strange because how rare is it to die from the flu? The flu can be pretty fucking deadly. I've had the flu multiple times as a child where I had gotten up to the point of 105 fever. And I swear, this happened probably 4 or 5 times, that I had gotten the flu bad enough to where I was 105. Tripping balls, seeing scorpions and spiders on my walls and floor. My mom would have to she'd hear me screaming and tripping out and would have to come to the bedroom and literally strip me naked and throw me in the shower to cool me down, get the body temperature down. And once you get to the point of 105 and you start hallucinating, that's another thing too. I think it caused some of my brain damage having the flu at 105 that heavy so many times. It's scientifically, medically proven that when you start to trip and your fever gets that high, it starts causing brain damage and shit. So I don't know. The whole thing's crazy. So it's possible that the flu can fucking kill you. If my mother had not heard me screaming and tripping out, and it went unattended, I could have fucking died. Because like I said, it starts causing brain damage. That's just deadly shit. Besides the scorpions and spiders on the floor and walls, there was another time too that I had 105 fever, and I'll never forget this shit. I was screaming, yelling. My dad came in the room and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And my fever was so bad and I was tripping so fucking hard. I was asking him math equations. In my head, something was torturing me that I had to answer math equations, and if I didn't answer them correctly, something bad would happen. So I was just like, what's 1 plus 1? It equals 2, right? 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? And I think he figured out, oh shit, this boy's tripping balls. And I remembered literally a monster truck had smashed through my window and was running over me, and I could feel it. Like, it didn't feel painful, but it almost felt like, I don't know if you all have ever taken a muscle relaxer to where it feels like your whole body's getting a massage and you're just sitting there going, ah. It felt good, but at the same time, it was like terrifying because in my head, it was a monster truck just rolling over me like back and forth. Just, it smashed through the window and was like, just rolling over me. Brutal, crazy shit, man. But the only other time that I had ever actually felt anything similar to that monster truck thing was I was living with my ex-wife. We had pretty much left my mom's house. I get into that whole story about how my mom dated a con artist. It was a Blue Pill podcast episode. It's called I Was Conned. So go check that episode out. It's a crazy fucking story of a time in my life. Needless to say, we left the house in a suitcase. It's all we fucking had. We didn't have barely any money because all our money was taken by the con artist. We had nowhere to go. We sold our car to help my mom because she got all her money conned out of her, just like us. And she got back with him and was going to move him back in. And so we got pissed off and left the house with nothing but a suitcase. Luckily, my ex-wife started making phone calls. Her aunt and uncle took us in. Her uncle had really bad fucking back problems. And they put him on like super strong fucking painkillers. And I think it was actually the first time. No, it wasn't the first time I'd ever taken painkillers because I had my wisdom teeth removed. Never mind. But it was the first time that I ever had this strong of painkillers. And he's like, hey, you want one? And we were all doing shots of vodka and whiskey. And I was like, sure, I'll take one. Pop this pill. And I didn't feel anything for like about an hour, but I just kept drinking shots. Next thing I know, dude, I was fucked up. And I went to the bedroom and laid down, and that I felt the exact same thing, the full body massage. And I wasn't tripping, but my mind went, ooh, I've felt this before. So I just closed my eyes and I could see the monster truck again. It didn't smash through the window, but I was like, I remember that trip. It literally brought me back to that trip I had when I was a kid with 105 fever. And I could feel the monster truck again. I couldn't hear it, couldn't see it, but I could like visualize it like a trip, you know? That was the two experiences I had, tripping balls and feeling a monster truck like crush my body, and the same sensation of like that, just not sexual but almost orgasmic. Like, it felt amazing. It felt so fucking good. Just that, oh yeah, like a full body massage. And needless to say, I got up to go to work. I was still high as a kite, but it wasn't as strong. And my wife was like, oh my God, that pill was amazing last night. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you want more? I'm like, no. It felt too good, to the point I knew like I could see why people get addicted to that fucking shit. And I was like, nope, we are never buying this shit from we're not getting addicted. We're already addicted to cigarettes and alcohol. We are not getting addicted to pills too. That shit felt way too fucking good. But I also didn't like that I felt like I couldn't use my body. I felt like I was going to be late for work and get fired. I was like, no, we do not need to introduce this into our lives to where we're both just like sitting there like zombies, you know. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I put out that interview earlier today, so you get a double banger today. Go check out that interview. It's 3 hours, so I hope you enjoy. It's a lot of content, but we go deep. We talk Tartaria, DID, bloodlines, all sorts of deep conspiracy shit. But love y'all. Y'all have a good day.